I'm here at Hotel Roanoke to meet all of the contestants for Miss Virginia of 2017 and ask them 3 questions. Your name and your title?
Yes, I'm Michaela Gabriella Sigmon, Miss Virginia 2016.
My name is Amanda Short, and I'm Miss Hanover.
Hi, my name is Kasia Luzynski, and I'm Miss Loudon County.
My name's Caroline Weinroth, and I'm Miss Mountain Laurel.
My name is Alice Gyamfi, Miss Northern Virginia.
My name is Demi Richardson, and I'm Miss Patrick Henry Community College.
Hi, my name is Carlehr Swanson, and I'm Miss Piedmont Region.
My name is Dominga Murray, and I'm Miss Roanoke Valley.
I am Bailey McKee, Miss Southside Virginia.
I am Hallie Hovey-Murray, Miss Southwestern Virginia.
My name is Taylor Reynolds. I'm Miss State Fair Virginia.
Yes, I'm Anna Marie Kelly, and I'm Miss Tysons.
My name is Dorothy Cosner, and I'm Miss Virginia Beach 2017.
I'm Cameron Smith. I'm Miss Virginia Highlands.
I'm Casey Shepard, Miss Apple Blossom Festival.
My name is Cecily Weber, and I'm Miss Arlington.
Elizabeth Mothershead, Miss Capital Region.
Yes, I'm Miss Cardinal, Lauren Lee Mitchell.
I'm Ashley Fisher, Miss Chesterfield.
My name is Gracie Bedsole, and I am Miss Commonwealth.
So my name is Francesca Riley, and I'm Miss Crooked Road.
Yes, Julia Braxton, Miss Greater Prince William County.
I'm Olivia Shedd, Miss Greater Richmond.
I'm Emily Alera, Miss Virginia's Outstanding Teen 2016.
Father's Day was this week. What is the most important trait of a good dad?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think every dad has a different trait that they teach their children. But for me, in my family, faith was really important. And my dad always taught me to put my faith before anything else. And he really walks the path and doesn't just talk it. So I think for dad to walk the talk is the most important trait.
I think one of the most important traits of a good father is just being loving and kind and putting your child first before yourself. You brought this child into the world, take care of that child.
A good dad is someone who's just there for you, who can support you, who is there to love you and encourage you no matter what. And my dad has been incredible at that. I actually wasn't able to spend Father's Day with him. We're here, and he is out of the country right now. But it's just awesome to have someone to support and love you no matter what.
Well, for me, my father always told me that you could always take a project yourself and take initiative. So one of the things my dad and I love to do together is we love building things, and we always love to create our own projects. Gardening, my dad loves to build frames. He built me a guitar pedal board, so that's what I think is good, initiative.
I think the most important trait is to instill in your kids good character. So no matter what your kids end up doing, no matter what kind of life path they end up taking, they always have that foundation of character.
The most important trait of a good dad is to be trustworthy and loving.
Buying monetary things is helpful, but I think spending quality time and really being able to learn those great characteristics from your father.
Well, I think the most important trait of a good father is just being there for your children. I actually threw a concert benefit at my college. I go to Highlands University, and my father is an entertainer, and he canceled his show in Dubai to do my concert benefit. So just actions like those make you a good father.
I think the most important trait of a good dad is just someone who's always there for you. For example, my dad, he doesn't like to admit it, but he's a huge pageant dad, and he's always here supporting me in everything that I do, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love him so much.
So my dad always pushes me. He's very good at getting me to work hard, even when, those times when you just kind of want to give up on something. That's when my dad comes in and he inspires me to keep working harder, to keep pushing myself. And to me, that's the best thing about my father.
Oh, man, most important. Well, I think of my dad, who's actually sitting right there, and I think that he's always supportive. A dad should always be there to hold you and talk to you, and no matter what you're going through in life, they should be supportive of every decision you make. My dad was just like, pageants. I don't know very much about pageants when I first started, but now he is so into it. He's so supportive. He's sitting right there when a lot of dads don't show up, and I respect my dad so much for that.
I think that they're just kind. One thing I really love about my dad is he is just so selfless in everything he's really done for me, especially as a pageant dad, right? Because there is a lot of money and time involved in that. I think a really good father is someone who's really selfless and just loves on their kid.
I think a good father is going to be there to support you and hang out with you and get hands-on with you and just spend as much time as he can with you.
My dad's always been so supportive of my goals and my dreams. I've never been much of an athlete, and he really was. So when I wanted to do pageants, he just jumped right in and was so supportive of what I wanted to do.
Someone who is just kind and compassionate and understanding. I always go to my father because I know whether I'm stressed or angry or tired, I can go to him and he can get me through whatever situation. And he can give me a good hug and a good laugh as well.
Oh, well, dads, of course, have to be loving, and I'm really lucky to have an amazing father who I feel like I've gotten a lot of my best traits from. He's funny, and I think I'm funny. We'll see. And he is very sensitive, and I think that I'm sensitive. So I think just having, a father that can be a good role model.
A good dad is always there for his kids, always ready to be a shoulder to cry on or someone to have a fun activity with, whether it's going to a movie, bonding over cooking, or any kind of activity. A good dad is someone who just always is there for his kids no matter what they need.
I think consistency, the ability to stay present and to constantly invest and just to show love. For me, my father was pretty absent in my life. My platform is about supporting children with incarcerated parents. So my father went to jail when I was 13, and I didn't have that consistency. But yet I did have some mentors in my life who stepped in as father figures. And for me, just the fact that they were there, that presence, meant so much to me. And so I think that's the number one thing.
I would say a good trait for a dad is to show his young girls about determination and that you can go for anything you want in your life as long as you put your mind up to it. I began pageants 3 years ago, and I never thought I would be standing in this room here right now. And yet here I am 2 years in a row. It's my final year, but I achieved a dream because of the determination that my father instilled in me.
Well, unfortunately, I have a single mother, and I haven't had a father role model in my life, but I've had the best grandfather in the entire world, and he has always given me everything that I've wanted, and he's really stepped up into the father role, and I really respect him, and I'm so thankful for that he's done that for me.
Someone who's kind. Just being raised in a family where my mom was a strong, predominant woman in the household, just having somebody who's kind, who's always listening, who's always there for your daughter and always really supportive is probably the best things that a parent can do to just try to build their daughter up.
I think someone who's there for you unconditionally, who loves you unconditionally. I know my dad is the best pageant dad ever because he shows up for every pageant and he's just there whenever I need him.
I think it's to be there for their daughter, because oftentimes I think dads are very absent from what's going on in their lives, and sometimes you don't need anything from them but just to be there. I know with my dad, just knowing that he's there, I can give him a call whenever I need to. I can cry on his shoulder if I need to. Just knowing that he's present and there, I think, is one of the most important qualities.
Well, like Michaela said, all dads have different traits that they try to pass on to their children. But the one thing that my dad has passed on to me is determination. He spent a lot of time going through medical school, and he's just taught me to always follow through with the goals that you've set for yourself, and just reach for the stars.
If you can make one law for the United States, what would it be?
Well, my platform is all about making it matter, which is valuing others, being kind to others. And there's a new thing, it's called the kindness revelation, where if someone does something nice, you take a wristband off and you give it to them. I think I would make it a law that everyone would have to have a wristband to make it matter, so everyone is constantly thinking of ways to be kind to one another.
If I could make one law for the United States, I think it's time to redo the equal pay law. That hasn't been touched since the 1960s, and we obviously see that there's still a pay gap between men and women and between minorities and the majority. It's time to fill that. It's time to redo legislation.
Ooh, good question. She is preparing me. I think just making a law that requires you to be nice to people. I know that sounds so cliche and dumb, but honestly, we have such a problem with that in our world, and we really do just need to be more kind to others, and it would make life so much easier.
I think a good law for the United States would be promoting more girls and more women. So I always think laws that protect any women's rights are going to be one that really protect all citizens' rights.
I think it would have to pertain to education. I think that right now there's a big push, especially for individuals of color, the school to prison pipeline. So I think it would be to train more teachers to have the skills that they need to deal with children who are coming from low income and poverty stricken communities so that they can have the opportunity to pursue a degree and graduate from not only high school but from college.
Ooh, that's a good question. If I could make one law for the United States, it would be to have free pizza on Fridays.
I think being on the phone and driving, because everyone knows that texting and driving is illegal, but actually being on the phone is illegal, so that would be one.
I think I would pass some sort of law that has to do with kindness. I think that we live in a world where people forget how to love one another. And actually, Miss Virginia, Michaela Sigmon, her platform is called Making It Matter, where she expresses how important it is to value those in your community and to show love to one another. So I think that maybe making her platform some sort of legislation would change our world.
One law for the United States. I would say that I would love it for everybody to do at least one good thing for somebody else, like per day, whether it's just opening the door for somebody or holding an elevator. Just get the good vibes flowing.
Well, my platform is 1 in 68, ending the stigma of autism, so I really am interested in disability education. So what I would like to do is make mandatory funding for teachers to have training in how to handle students on the autism spectrum, even teachers who don't necessarily teach special education.
I would make a law that we all need to be kind to each other, and that if we are not kind to each other and not doing enough of kindness in our school systems and our community, that you should be reprimanded. I believe that kindness will change the world if we all do it together. My platform is Rachel's Challenge, which is all about pro-kindness, and it stemmed off of the writings from Rachel Joy Scott, who was the first one shot and killed in Columbine shooting, and she had a message of just kindness changing the world, and that's what I want. I wish that we could make that law. I don't know who to talk to about making that a real thing, but I think that's what we need in the world.
This might sound a little ironic, but I would actually require that young people be required to vote. My platform is actually called End the Apathy Epidemic, which kind of focuses on destigmatizing politics so that more young people get involved. So I would hope that if there was a law that mandated voting for young people, especially the 18 to 25 age group, that more young people would be motivated to kind of get educated, because that's a really great responsibility.
If I could make one law, it would to actually increase the healthcare benefits and to decrease a lot of funding for all these organizations that aren't very prevalent in our country.
Everybody has to have a bowl of ice cream every night or something sweet, because I personally have a sweet tooth and it always makes me feel better. I think it's a great way to end the day.
I would create a law for equality within our public schools. Right now, something that I'm very passionate about is creating unification within those with and without disabilities in the classroom. I would create a law that would have individuals who are highly functioning disabled individuals to be able to go into the regular classrooms as often as they possibly could.
This one might seem a little silly, but I think that it would really help with a lot of the issues that are happening today. I think that if we could create a law that would force people or really encourage people to be kind and considerate to others. Think of all of the progress we could make in regards to bullying, violence, anything of that nature. So I know this one's very abstract, but if I could make something a law, I definitely would prioritize kindness.
I would say free ice cream. Being a pageant girl, I don't get that much ice cream, but if it was free, it might tempt me a little more.
One law, only one? I mean, you're talking to a girl who might want to go into politics, so I don't know. But I think because my platform deals so much with incarceration issues, I think the number one thing would be providing easier ways for prisoners once they come out of prison to be able to find employment and work. Because currently it's really difficult for them to find jobs. There's not a lot of trust in prisoners in general, and so having some laws in place to help bring them back into society would, I think, be excellent.
Oh my goodness, I would make a law cracking down on distracted driving. I think distracted driving is a real major issue. You know, I'll be driving down the road and look over and see someone applying makeup or reading a book or definitely texting. But, you know, I just think there needs to be stricter laws on that.
So my platform is Wrapped in Love, which deals with foster children in the foster care system. I donate care boxes to area foster kids as they are put into the system. And one thing that I have noticed is that foster children are staying in the foster homes for so long without being in the care of their own. They're in the state's care. So I feel like that we should give the biological parents less time to get their stuff together and let them allow them to be adopted into the homes at a safer time so they can thrive and learn in a safe environment.
Really good one. Probably, I want to say kindness just because I have it on my mind. You know, I think that's something definitely lost in today's society. I think we think too much on ourselves and too inward, and we don't think about the kindness and how we're affecting other people. And I really think we need to kind of think back and look back into our society and kind of think about the way we treat people.
Ooh, that'd be a hard one. I think I would change the existing laws around our education system. I'm a teacher, so I would love to see some more funding going into our public schools, and probably funding for public schools that is not based on where kids live.
Ooh, good one. You know what? I would reinforce the importance of our Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. There's been so many issues going on with that right now, and I know that's a huge part of the interview process right now, but really making sure we know how to not only be safe with them, but know how to protect ourselves as well. There's a really fine line to balancing that, so probably that.
Oh gosh, a lot. Well, I actually, through my title, I passed legislation with Governor McAuliffe about EpiPens because my platform is Be Emily's Pal, and PAL stands for Protecting a Life Against Food Allergies. And so what happened was there was a child in Virginia that died because she had peanuts on the playground, and the public school wouldn't give her another child's EpiPen even though she needed it, and she ended up dying. And so the legislation that was passed was that all children can use anybody's EpiPens. So that's something that I've done through my title.
If you can give your 11-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Wow. I'm actually not sure. I've never been asked that question. When I was 11 years old, I was in all different types of activities, and I would probably tell my 11-year-old self it's okay. You don't have to be involved in all of these activities because one day you'll become Miss Virginia.
If you could give your 11-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
It would be just to keep having fun. When I was 11, I was involved in many school activities, traveling around with my parents. I was actually in a family band growing up. So just keep on enjoying life, keep on living, do all that you can do while you're young and you don't have school or debt or anything like that to worry about.
Just to be confident. I definitely was not always confident in myself, and I had no reason not to be. And I know now I will make mistakes, I will grow, I will learn, I will hopefully turn out to be a decent person. So just be confident in who I am and never doubt that.
Don't be too hard on yourself. Because when I was 11, I always thought I wasn't good enough, and I always thought that what I was doing was always being watched and being judged. So I think one of the best things is to be yourself and to all out commit to it. Because in the end, that's what people really want to see, and that's what they really appreciate.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Literally, don't sweat the small stuff. It doesn't matter that you have acne, okay, and that you're not fashionable, and that everybody's a little bit more dope than you. That doesn't matter, because the tables will turn in high school, girlfriend, okay? They think you're skinny now, and they call you skinny mini, but guess what? We run the world, honey, okay? So don't sweat the small stuff.
Don't sweat the small stuff. In 10 years, you're going to look back and it's not going to be such a big deal. Just enjoy your life as you can.
As you may have noticed, my voice is deep for a girl, so growing up I was severely picked on for that, and I thought that was a weakness, but now that I'm older, I see that as one of my strengths.
Well, I'm singing a song called When You Believe for my talent, and it's about the evolution of my confidence, and it's about how I learned to believe in myself. So if I could speak to my 11-year-old self, I would tell her to look in the mirror, to see someone who's growing, and to be okay with that.
I would definitely say don't give up, because I was very shy as a child, and my mom put me into pageants to let me overcome my shyness. I also had a lisp back then, so I was very shy and I wouldn't talk in public. So I would just tell her to not give up, because look at where I am today, competing in Miss Virginia at only 19 years old.
have better self-esteem. Know that you're okay, and look to your faith when you're having really hard times. You know, when I was 11, I had a lot of self-esteem issues. So if I could go back in time, I would tell myself, look inwardly, look to your faith, because you are okay. You're not flawed in a way that is irreparable. You are okay.
I would give my 11-year-old self advice and tell her, don't listen to those bullies. Don't listen to those bullies in middle school and elementary school that made fun of me or young me for the color of my skin or being too skinny or being a good athlete. You know, there was a point in my life where I decided I'm not going to run track. And if I would have listened to myself, I wouldn't have gone and broken records in college and gotten a scholarship to college if I would have listened to myself. So 11-year-old Taylor, don't listen to those bullies and stay true to yourself.
I would just say to embrace the qualities that make me unique, because I think especially when you're growing up, you spend a lot of time kind of comparing yourself and kind of trying to fit this ideal mold of what like a perfection is supposed to be, especially when you're a teenager. So if I could go back, I would just tell myself to kind of love the qualities that make me unique. I'm a little goofy, I'm a little silly, so I remember spending a lot of time just kind of trying to be something I wasn't, and so I wish that I could go back and change that, but that's something I would definitely tell myself.
If I could give my 11-year-old self piece of advice, I would say to never give up and always strive for your dreams, and to make sure you study for your tests.
Just to be confident and not worry about what other people think. When I was beginning high school, I was so concerned about what I did, what I wore, what people thought about me, and when I finally let go of that and just started to be myself, I was so much happier.
Just to be confident within yourself. I had a lot of self-image issues growing up. However, had I not gone through those experiences and those trials that I did, doubting myself and not believing in who I was, I wouldn't have overcome those things, and I wouldn't be where I am today. So I don't know if I would necessarily try to change the obstacles I went through and tell myself anything, just in the case of changing maybe who I am now.
I would tell her that she is enough, and although you may feel really awkward or silly or gawky or like you're not smart enough or anything like that, no matter where you are in your life, you're enough.
I would tell myself to stick up for myself in times of trouble. That is something I did not do being a shy 11-year-old. But today, if I was ever to be in any type of situation with bullying, I would stick up for myself or the other person, and I think that's something everyone can listen to.
If I can give one piece of advice, it would be definitely not to have cut my hair to the length that I had it. Girlfriend, you should have seen me at 11. It was not a good look for me. I cut my hair all the way up to here, and I had bangs straight across. No, girl, no.
It would be to never give up, to always reach for the stars, and no matter if you fall, you'll still be in the sky sparkling somewhere. And to go after your dreams with as much ambition as you will when you're older.
I would say just to be yourself, no matter what preteens say. I know it's so difficult in our time, but just be yourself. You're the best you that you can be.
Don't shop at Limited 2. Limited 2 is now the justice of today, and oh man, I look back and I laugh at what I was wearing.
It's all going to work out. Don't stress about anything now. Don't sweat the small stuff. It'll be okay.
Probably to love herself. You know, when I was 11 or 12, I didn't like my smile. I didn't like my personality. I wanted to change everything about myself. So just to enjoy that time and really embrace who I was, because in embracing that, you become an even better version of yourself when you embrace that. So that's what I would tell myself.
11. Probably to forget about the boys and focus on middle school and schooling. Because I feel like my middle school years were a little centered around all the boys.